How likely will the Farm Bill pass in the fall? Um, well, I think that there's a lot of movement toward a new Farm Bill this fall, this September. Where we stand right now, the Bush administration has put forth a set of plans and policies, but now the Senate Ag Committee and the House Ag Committee and all sorts of other interests are lobbying and jockeying and maneuvering and getting their legislations together. And there's a window until about August probably when I think a farm bill will emerge that will be considered after the summer recess in September. How likely will that bill be the bill that we need to meet the challenges that we have? I could be skeptical and I could be optimistic. I think that this will be the most scrutinized farm bill probably since the very, very early days in the 1930s. And those days, it was highly scrutinized. The Supreme Court originally declared the first farm bill programs unconstitutional. Farmers were really upset, many of them, about food giveaways. I think there was this real concern that we were becoming a socialist country and it was not going to be able to be reversible. And I think now, 70 years later, we're stuck with this program. Everybody agrees it's just making the big farmers richer. It's just making these big corporations scandalously wealthy. They don't need a lot of these subsidies. It just passes right through them in the form of really cheap ingredients. But it's really harming our land and it's harming our health. And unless we put a stop to it, we can do some real damage in the next couple decades.
What happens after the Farm Bill then, Dan?
We can expect the Farm Bill to be passed, I think, sometime this year. And then basically we have the programs, we have the promises that have been made for the next 5 to 7 year cycle. And yet, even though we have this slate of programs that have been put down in the legislation, it doesn't mean we're going to get the money. So then the real fight transfers to that yearly appropriations process when people who care about the conservation programs and the renewable energy monies and reforms for sustainable agriculture research and organics research and nutrition programs, that's when they have to fight to make sure that the appropriations committees actually give them the money that is promised in the bill out of the federal budget. So essentially, they make this farm bill, it's a roadmap for 5 years, but every year there's going to be a fight. And if you care about your programs, you're going to have to really be willing to stay on and keep your legislators honest to what they committed.
Because the commodities folks are going to be continuing their very...
Because $100 million per year are going to be poured into that agribusiness lobby, which is why you also want to realize you cannot divorce the Farm Bill from any other thing, especially campaign finance reform. You care about new change in government, then you also have to care about campaign finance reform and keeping this special interest money out and to a minimum.
So it's not just a food fight, we're talking about a food war.
Yeah, you might say that. It's if we want it, we definitely have to be willing to go to battle for it. And there'll be a fuel fight too.
So how much of our armor should we be putting on right now?
I think you should be saving up your tomatoes.
No,
and your
seriously,
eggs.
What is it that I can do? Give me some advice on what is it that I can do.
Well, I think you need to make sure that your legislators have on their armor. That's the metaphor you want to use. You have to put them on notice. Put your legislators on notice that you're watching their vote. You care very much about their vote on the Farm Bill. There's too much that hasn't been set right now, but you are going to watch and you're going to react to specific policies and platforms as they emerge in the next few months. Fire the first shot over the bow, let them know you're watching. And it's gonna mean a lot to you come September when they vote one way or the other.